Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bitcoin Made Simple show. I am going to talk to you today about Donald Trump getting into office, what it means for Bitcoin, and is there going to be a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and why you shouldn't care if there is. And really, I'll give you the other thing that the only reason that you should care about anything that a politician says about Bitcoin. So I'll get into that, kind of venting a little bit. Before I do, get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. Go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin Made Simple. Use promo code Bitcoin Made Simple to get 5% off. It's the easiest, most simple to use hardware wallet on the market. Also, thank you to Barefoot Mining. Go to barefootmining.com if you are a miner, if you are looking to get into mining, if you are an investor or you are an energy provider, whoever you are, go to barefootmining.com and get into mining with them now. So, there's a big thing happening on Monday. Donald Trump is getting inaugurated, and it makes half the country want to puke and another half want to puke their pants. I don't know. I mean, people, whatever. I'm not here to talk politics. Um, but there's just so much chatter on Bitcoin Twitter talking about, well, is there going to be a Bitcoin strategic reserve? Is there going to be a strategic reserve? Um, I don't really care, and it's not gonna do for the price that people think it's gonna do. Like it's just not. Um, you know, like El Salvador. I mean, granted, very small country. El Salvador adopted it as a official currency of the country, and it didn't make a dent. So, like, if you're in it for the price, it's just whatever. Like, it's not gonna make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. Maybe there'd be like a 1 day pump. Um, I don't know. But the way towards mass adoption isn't through strategic Bitcoin reserves and all this BS. It's through continued adoption of the population of the world, and that to me is more important than some politician saying that there's a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Also, I don't think any politician. The only thing I care about when it comes to a politician talking about Bitcoin is whether or not they're going to say they're going to make it more difficult or less difficult for Bitcoin to exist. So, you know, that's probably the only way that you should care about a Bitcoin strategic reserve is that it makes it less difficult for Bitcoin to survive. Um, my theory from the beginning, people, say, oh, well, governments are going to ban Bitcoin. I always say, if they could, they would have by now, but they can't. And, they can do a lot of things they can throw a lot of curveballs at you. They can, pull down, it's kind of like whenever, uh, you know, in a chase scene in a movie, where like the person throws down a coat rack and, knocks over a, hot dog cart and all these things to try and slow up what's behind them. They can do that. They can slow up what's creeping up on them, which is, that the dollar is dead and only a few people know about it at this point. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't get too concerned about it. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I would instead focus your energy on if you're a Bitcoiner and you're looking for ways to get more Bitcoin. A lot of people, it's like, oh, I bought my little stack and I just want to see that pump. And that is the wrong way to look at it. Um, if you have your stash of Bitcoin off to the side, just keep chipping away and adding to it. And hopefully you forget that it's there. And then you look back in years and go, whoa, like that's unbelievable. Um, that, that is the most important takeaway. As long as you're chipping away, but you gotta if you want to increase your Bitcoin, if you're just sitting there on a stack and you're hoping to watch the price pump, you're just playing the lottery, just to be completely honest. So you got to find ways to increase cash flows, and you can use those cash flows to mine Bitcoin, but you can use those cash flows to, or I mean, mine Bitcoin to buy Bitcoin. You can, do whatever you want with them. Um, but just sitting and waiting and hoping that the price is going to go to the moon overnight, not a good strategy. A good strategy would be to get a Bitbox02 hardware wallet. Now, seriously, I know they're a sponsor. They have been for years. It's so easy to use, guys. Just get one. But I just don't, you know, I don't care what politicians think about it. I don't really care what anyone thinks about it. Um, I do want the price to go up over time, and I believe it will because that would be leaning towards a healthy economy. But, if you put all your faith in politicians, like there's already talk. I mean, I see a bunch of people, talking about like XRP becoming, part of the strategic reserve, whether it's, I don't know if these sources are real or if it's just, XRP people that are just being hopeful. But yeah, it's just like if you put your trust in a politician, they will disappoint you eventually. Um, so just don't worry about it. Like live your life, do your thing. What you should do is not engage in any shart coins. Um, because God almighty. I mean, I guess maybe I'm talking to more noobs lately. And honestly, probably like more of you that are listening as this grows or, and the price is pumping are probably new people to Bitcoin. Maybe you're listening in the future and you're just like, oh man, I wish I could go back to January 2025 to buy Bitcoin for 100,000. Um, because the sh- the shark coins, I'm just talking to so many newbies that, it's like everyone like it's still that like shiny little dangling carrot off to the side that they're like, ooh, but what about this thing, And it's just hilarious. Like people that have millions of dollars, quote unquote, probably. I mean, I don't know. I've look at their wallets, but I'm guessing they probably have lots of uh, fake money in random shard coins, and they legitimately say to you that Bitcoin's going to go to zero, and you're just like, whoa, like you do not get it. Um, or just a couple other people I know, friends and stuff like that. It'll be like you talk to them, um, and we just as Bitcoiners, we have to remember that they're not in this world all the time. They're not in the frame of mind that we're in, where it's just like Bitcoin has dominated our life. Um, so it's just like you get excited. I get excited. I'm like, oh, they want to talk about Bitcoin, and they're talking about it, and then they go, now what about this XRP? And you're like, no, 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 wrong, wrong. Um, and so it's hard. Gigi used to talk about this, the Bitcoin angels that do their best to, um, explain Bitcoin over and over and over again. Um, and, you know, I, they do their best, but I get frustrated. It's hard. And I understand why other people find that hard. So I try to do my best. We're all in this together. We're trying to make, educate others. I mean, I too owned a shard coin or two uh back in the day. So, of course, we've all been there. We've all done it. And just it takes the people with patience to explain it to others. But it is so frustrating um to just hear the constant like, well, what about this one? What about this? What about it's like, guys, like it's just like there is no other. This is it. It's the only one that has any value. I mean, any value. So frustrating. Speaking of things that have value, I'm talking about like MicroStrategy, and I might do a whole video on this. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the next episode, I'll really rant and rave about it. But like, you know, and I'm not going to name names, but like, there's people that have come out of the woodwork. They're pushing MicroStrategy. They're pushing all these other things. And I'm like, it's going to push people to get wrecked. And I'm like, you guys don't remember last cycle? Like, you do some of you 2 cycles, whatever, how long you've been. Like, it's right when Bitcoin went over 100K, it was like all the discipline in the market just immediately disappeared. And the ethos was talking about, like, it was just back to like the win Lambo conversation. When are you going to get your Lambo? When are you going to be, you know, flaunting your wealth? When are you going to retire? And it's so exhausting. But it's also so dangerous. It hurts people. It puts them at financial risk. Like, the only way I could describe Bitcoin is mostly pain, followed by occasional reward, short-term reward. And if you suffer through the pain long enough, there will be a huge, huge reward on the other side. But it's a lot of pain. It's a lot of grinding down. It's a lot of just like, you think this is gonna be it, and then and it just grinds you and grinds you. And if you get over leveraged, if you put too much in, if you can't afford to have the amount in that you have, I mean, don't buy it with debt, because God forbid you bought it with debt. You're in a crap situation. And it's just don't. It's just frustrating. It's a long grind with the uptime is very rare, very few and far between. And this makes it sound like, oh, doom and gloom. I'm talking more in the short term. If you hang on long enough, it'll be all uptime. Maybe I'll make another video about this, but I tweeted this out yesterday and said, would you buy one Bitcoin for $10,000? And people were like, yeah, what? Are you giving one away? And like, no. Point being is that it once was worth $10,000, and we thought that was expensive. And now it's 100,000. So if you can survive that pain, stay humble, stack sats, you will, I want to say eternal glory. That would be reserved for heaven, but you will have the ultimate reward financially in financial freedom if you can survive the pain. There's just a lot of pain, a lot of people that are being a pain in the ass in the process and promoting all that kinds of crap that I hate to see. So in the meantime, get a BitBox O2 hardware wallet, and I will talk to you guys later.